What's that?
Anyway, guys, cutting to the chase, I'm going to teach you the top 5 ways to get anything done in a creative project. That's right. And I'm going to do it using the example of my orchestral piece, How Beautiful You Are. And if you're like, oh, who's this kid? What's he going to teach me? Check out the rest of my channel. If you like how it sounds, come back and watch the video. If you don't like how it sounds, also come back and watch the video. I'm desperate for views. I started working on the piece in full swing in May, but the first idea that I wrote down was in February. This would go on to be the intense part, originally titled Breaking Point, but I never continued it because I was missing that spark. And you can debate whether the spark is necessary for creativity, but if you do need that spark, then it's best to write down every idea that you can when you have that spark so you don't miss it, because every moment could be that lightning in a bottle you need. Once I came up with isolated ideas for the beginning and end of the piece in May, it was a lot easier to combine them because I knew Breaking Point would fit right in the middle there. Tip number 2 is to make a proof of concept. A proof of concept is a small section of work that's not very expanded. For example, a video game proof of concept could be a blank gray platform playground where the character moves around and jumps. The idea is to not complicate your work with scope creep before you know truly what you're trying to make. If we were to apply this to composing, you would take an 8, 16, maybe even 32 bar melody and you would expand it fully vertically before you continue to write horizontally on your score. This helps me when composing by establishing a general instrumentation and style for the piece, as well as possible motifs to use when I'm expanding horizontally. It also makes you feel really good when you hit that play button for the first time. Motivation is probably one of the biggest factors in why most projects get left behind if they're unfinished. I know I struggle with motivation a lot. Just look at like half of my pieces compared to the chipmunks. That's what it is. Anyway, watch my chipmunks. I'll get more views, and I want to get money. I want to get monetized. Yeah. A reduction is like an artist sketching or an author storyboarding. It's important to know the directions you're going to go before you fully flesh out in those directions. How I do this in MuseScore is I add 2, maybe 3 pianos to the bottom of my score, and then I will notate all of the melodic and harmonic parts in concert pitch on those pianos for the entire piece length, including simplifying parts of the vertically built proof of concept so I can recognize and easily refer to them on a piano staff. Some of the benefits of doing this are visual clarity. It's a lot easier to understand 4 to 6 piano lines than like 40 to 50 instrument lines individually. It's also significantly easier to edit something. Just like if you're an artist messing up a pencil sketch, you can just kind of erase it in one spot. If you make a mistake in a large fleshed out piece, then it's going to take a lot of time to fix that mistake. Thinking about this in other terms, like possibly video game design, this could mean building one enemy's moveset before building every enemy's moveset. That way you can ensure that your hitboxes, combat style, and everything else relating to it feel very good to the player before you've designed most of the combat in your game. When you're working on such a condensed area, you only have to write each part 1 or 2 times, which lets you then copy them into areas that you need later. Like for example, if an artist develops their color palette outside the painting, sketches the painting, and then applies their color palette to the sketch. Now time for tip number 4. MuseScore is a free software. I've been using it for over 3.5 years that I've been composing, and over those 3 years I've gotten used to the hotkeys, the intricacies of the software, and the random conveniences or inconveniences that it has. As I got familiar with it, my workflow just gets better and better, and at some point people have recommended that I try different software, but they're often paid or they sacrifice playback or notation in order to gain the other. Unless switching software or tools is necessary or will substantially improve your ability to create what you want to create, you should stick with what's free and familiar, aka what you already own. Like if you've got an iPad and an Apple Pen, it's a lot easier than to buy a whole new drawing tablet. Now you've got everything you need to make a perfect creative vision a reality. Your ideas are all documented. Your style is established. The roadmap is laid out, and you have the tools to do the job. But at some point, you'll look at your YouTube channel and you'll realize it's been months since a substantial upload because you're so focused on making the next thing perfect. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of it. Scope creep isn't a bad thing, but you need to remember. Tip number 5, you can stop at any time. If your creative work is just a hobby, like with my composing, you can just take a break. Like, just call it quits at the proof of concept. You don't need large finished products every time you get an idea. I mean, I have hundreds of MCSD files on my computer, and I've probably only ever finished maybe 12 of them. But that doesn't mean those that weren't finished were wasted. If an athlete only runs half a lap, would you say they didn't exercise? So if you only make half of a drawing, does that mean that you didn't get better at drawing? If you only write half of a piece, did you not train your composition skills? Who cares if there's flaws in your work? At the end of the day, make what you want to make and don't get burned out. But look at how many views the chipmunks get, bro! I gotta make more!